They came to me. I was supposed to be the fourth king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you on Bernie. And I know the truth.
Will this be the end of Steve Harvey after these recent damning allegations? Here's the thing. Katt Williams and Samuel L. Jackson recently dropped a bunch of footage linking Harvey to insane Hollywood sacrifices he undertook just to gain fame.
Did your height affect you, do you think, growing up? Did it influence, your life, your comedy?
I think so. It made me very cynical and bitter.
Hollywood has been awash with such stories, accusations, and counter-accusations for quite a while now.
Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business.
But is Katt's claim about Harvey true? If so, has he addressed them directly or indirectly? And just how many people did he allegedly sacrifice to gain fame? And at what cost? Harvey has been accused of putting other people's careers in line just to further his own. One of his victims is believed to be the late comedian Bernice Mac. Critics are not giving up on Steve Harvey. Not even as many recently mourned the 16th anniversary of comedic giant Bernie Mac's passing. The two men are half of the legendary Original Kings of Comedy act that also includes Cedric the Entertainer and D.L. Hewley. The Family Feud host and Mr. 3000 Inches star had a falling out during the early 2000s, which, along with discord over money, ultimately led to the end of the successful comedy tour. Among their issues was Harvey's rumored jealousy of Mac's rise in Hollywood. According to Katt Williams' explosive take on their two men's friendship, Harvey sought to turn his peers' lucrative film opportunities into his own, even going as far as trying to persuade Ocean 11 producers to cast him over Mac. Katt's stinging remarks shared in January of this year on the Club Shay Shay podcast have led countless people to revisit Harvey's own acknowledgement of Mac in the years since his passing. The Bernie Mac Show star died at the age of 50 on August 9, 2008. He suffered from complications of the inflammatory disease sarcoidosis, which largely impacts the lungs. At the time of his passing, he was hospitalized while dealing with a bout of pneumonia. He is survived by his wife, high school sweetheart Rhonda McCullough, and their daughter Janice McCullough.
What's up, Steve? We right here at Bernie Mac's High School on the South Side. Man, and we just want to let you know, man, we all love Bernie.
Those reflecting on his life and legacy 16 years later found themselves rewatching a special episode of The Steve Harvey Show, the daytime talk show, where the host had Mac's family, Hewley, Cedric, and comedians Guy Torry and Mike Epps as guests. After revealing the entertainer's alma mater, Chicago Vocation School, renamed an auditorium in honor, Rhonda tearfully spoke about the love their hometown and Mac's fans continue to share. Harvey's eyes filled with tears and he began to sniffle, tightly clenching his fist before his mouth as she struggled to maintain her composure as she expressed gratitude for those who remembered the actor. Before announcing a proclamation declaring November 14th Bernie Mac Day in Chicago, Harvey hung his head low, covered his eyes, and swiped away fallen crocodile tears, as some observers are saying now. For some, the perception of his emotions now seems off, and the tears shed were those of pure guilt of his despicable two-faced treatments of Bernie. "Hits different when Katt said what he said," read a comment on YouTube. Another critic said, "Steve was fake crying crocodile tears. He hated on Bernie and was secretly happy he was gone. Shame on you, Steve, and all the fake frenemies of the world." A third individual re-examining the segment wrote, "Steve is literally the definition of missing someone when they're gone. He hated on Bernie, he's a fraud. Steve was the fake. Bernie was the real." Harvey and his fellow kings of comedy attended the public memorial held for their peer in Chicago on August 16, 2008. The actor reflected on being on the road with Mac and gave the fallen star his flowers for being in a league of his own. Nearly overcome with emotion, he spoke about Mac being a family man, how he loved Rhonda and his baby, how he talked about them all the time, as his voice shook and he appeared to fight back tears.
I didn't really want to do this.
Again, his words were perceived as insincere by viewers revisiting the speech. Steve Harvey had absolutely no business being on stage. Him and Bernie wasn't even talking when he passed, read a comment. However, a few others chose to come to Harvey's defense, pushing back on narratives suggesting that his grief was an act. A fan wrote, "Y'all give Steve such a hard time, but that man loves Bernie sometimes in a competitive sport as comedy crosses that line, but no doubt they love each other." Since being blasted by Katt Williams at the top of the year, Harvey has faced a barrage of comments from fans turning their backs on him. Media personality Ed Lover also co-signed Katt Williams' claims that Steve Harvey hated Bernie Mac prior to his death, and that he even attempted to steal Bernie Mac's role as Frank Catton in the film Ocean's 11.
All I can say is what Bernie told me. And he was upset with Steve because he said Steve tried to get him taken off of the Ocean's movie he did.
Ocean's 11?
Yeah, and tried to vie for his part after he already got hired.
Back in January, during an episode of his Simon Son podcast, the veteran radio host and media personality backed up Katt's comments regarding Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey's checkered relationship. Lover, who was a close friend of Bernie Mac up until his passing, recalled the late comedian personally informing him of Harvey's alleged underhanded tactics. The stuff that Katt Williams said about Steve Harvey calling to try to get Bernie's role on Ocean's 11 and that kind of stuff, Bernie told me out of his own mouth, the New York native said. I believe Bernie Mac when he said Steve Harvey hated on him. Lover's comments follow Katt's viral Club Shay Shay interview, in which he spoke critically about a host of comedic legends, including Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Chris Tucker, and Kevin Hart. However, his remarks regarding Harvey were particularly scathing, as he accused the talk show host of stealing jokes and concepts from his peers, while he alluded to his lack of range as an actor. Adding insult to injury, he likened the Family Feud host's appearance to that of the popular Mr. Potato Head toy. Katt accused Harvey of watching fellow comedian Mark Curry do his whole hang-in with Mr. Cooper sitcom, and then stealing everything Mark Curry had. In the interview, he pointed out the similarities between Curry's sitcom and The Steve Harvey Show, the latter of which premiered in 1996 and ran for 6 seasons. Now, Steve got a sitcom where he is the principal, and he wears a suit, Katt said. And then he gets this high-top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask him, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit.
He continued, this the same N that hated on Bernie Mac with this same thing. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asked for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You have to have range. Harvey has also been accused of being jealous of the late legendary comic Richard Pryor, but on low pretending to admire him. The adage, you should never meet your idols, applies to many situations, especially in the entertainment world. There have been plenty of stories about stars meeting their influences with disappointing results, but that, fortunately, wasn't the case for stand-up comedian and Family Feud host Harvey, who apparently met his comedy idol, the highly inspirational Richard Pryor, without any dire consequences, at least from what he says.
I've been going to church all my life. I know something about it now. And it's just some things I wish they stopped doing up at the church.
Some fans might not remember Harvey's early gigs as a stand-up comedian before he branched off into a successful film and television career, but the inspiration for Harvey's funny stories and sharp punchlines could be traced back to legendary comedian Richard Pryor, whom some believe he copied. Even though meeting one's idol can be hard to do, especially given Pryor's status throughout most of his career, Harvey got a chance to meet Pryor that was based mostly on luck and circumstance. The host comedian shared a post on his Instagram stories about how he met and reacted to his comedy hero.
Picture there was the first night I met Richard Pryor at the ABC Comedy Awards. That was the first, when I met him, when I got through hugging him and we talked, I went behind the bar, I cried for 20 minutes.
This lady said, "Steve, do you know who you're standing in front of?" I said, "No, who?" She said, "Turn around." I turned around and it was Richard Pryor. I bent over, shook his hand. He said, "I heard a lot about you." He told me, "You're pretty funny." I said, "I love you, man. I thank you," because he was the whole reason I got into comedy. You know, I got through talking with him. The ABC Comedy Awards was in this huge hangar they had decorated. I went behind the bar, cried for 20 minutes. As evidenced by Harvey's words in Instagram video, hearing Richard Pryor praise him meant a whole lot to the Family Feud frontman. Harvey showed a sense of vulnerability in meeting his idol that he doesn't often bring out in front of game show contestants. Fortunately, meeting Pryor didn't turn into a nightmare scenario that happens occasionally when someone meets an icon. The elder comedian might not have been such a huge influence on future acts, such as Harvey, had he been a less charismatic person on a daily basis. But again, those who know him well claim the tears were a mere show of pretense.
Let me tell you something. He took care of Richard Pryor. He was there. He sat with Richard Pryor more than anybody. That picture there was the first night I met Richard Pryor at the ABC.
Harvey's story about Pryor hinted at just how big of an influence the late comedian and stir-crazy actor had over other comedians. Other black comedians such as Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Eddie Murphy have all spoken about Pryor's influence on their stand-up comedy careers, and it's sometimes very obvious in their acts. Though Pryor's ability to mine tragedy for hilarious anecdotes is still pretty one of a kind. Much like Harvey, Murphy, and Rock have their own cherished stories about meeting Pryor and having him acknowledge or praise their comedy acts. Another issue that had people cursing Harvey is allowing his stepdaughter to date a much older Sean Diddy Combs, who is now behind bars.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Lori Harvey, and this is my 10-minute beauty routine. Today, we are doing a 90s soft everyday glam.
Back in 2019, Diddy stepped out with his rumored new girlfriend, Lori Harvey, to enjoy a stroll around Soho, New York. The then 49-year-old musician appeared to compliment her choice of fashion attire for the outing, with them both opting for white tops and striped bottoms. Diddy, real name Sean Combs, seemed in good spirits on the outing with Lori, then 22, who is the stepdaughter of comedian Steve Harvey. Early last year, the model and entrepreneur sat down with E! News host Adrienne Bailon in a video interview and said she often hears claims that she is in a relationship with someone whom she hasn't even met in person.
Just remember that you're the prize always.
Say that one more time.
Just remember that you are the prize.
Yes!
That's like his golden slogan for me.
Yeah.
Asked by Bailon about the biggest misconception about her, Harvey said, "It's so funny because I'm so quiet. There's been so many stories that have been made up about me. I've seen stories about me being fully in love with somebody, and we have this whole relationship, and I'll see the guy, and I'm like, I've actually never even met him before." She then appeared to reference previous reports that she dated Diddy in 2019 after being linked to his son, Justin Dior Combs. "I've heard I dated a father and son before. Absolutely not true," said Lori. "I've even heard that I'm a lesbian at one point. So, there's been a lot of different things, a lot of stories, a lot of misconceptions."
I think it's a very empowering time for women. I think women are really stepping up.
Dismissing all these stories as hilarious and very entertaining, Lori told Bailon the valuable relationship advice she received from her famous comedian dad, Steve Harvey. "Just remember that you're the prize always," she shared. When asked to clarify, Lori said, "That means not compromising my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation if it's no longer serving me." Like her father, the model has had her fair share of high-profile relationships. From Future and Michael B. Jordan to Damson Idris, the model and entrepreneur has never shied away from being in love with love.
I really do believe in this statement, when they say, when you know, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that really applies to our situation. And, we just have a really good time together. He's so sweet, very attentive.
And though she's been happy letting the internet form its opinions on her love life, the 27-year-old hardly does interviews. She has shared one nugget of wisdom her father, comedy legend Steve Harvey, has imparted. "Just remember that you are the prize," she told E! News, as mentioned earlier. That's like his golden slogan for me. Lori and Damson Idris went Instagram official on January 13th, 2023, the model's birthday. Rumors that the two were an item began floating a year before, with the pair spotted on a night out in December 2022.
But back to Lori and Damson.
As I said, it's great and life is great.
They've been enjoying these last few weeks of summer in the sun.
Idris posted 2 pics to commemorate his leading lady special day. The first was a lovey-dovey snap in which the two of them cuddled up on a sofa as he planted a sweet kiss on her cheek. "Happy birthday, Nunu," the then 31-year-old Snowfall actor wrote. In the second image, Lori could be seen playfully posing with a stack of money. The pair later hit the streets for Lori's birthday party and were spotted hand-in-hand leaving her birthday dinner. Guests included Lil Nas X, Justin and Hailey Bieber, Kendall Jenner, Daniel Kaluuya, and more. Then there is Michael B. Jordan. Lori and Jordan were an item for a strong 18 months before they went their separate ways in June 2022. The two were first spotted together during the Thanksgiving holidays in 2020 when they arrived at an airport in Lori's hometown of Atlanta. They would again be photographed arriving in Salt Lake City at the end of December. And while they didn't post any pics together, both parties posted several pictures of snowy surroundings. The two went Instagram official on January 10th, 2021, and would make fans swoon with oh-so-romantic photos of extravagant dates, stunning red carpet moments, and sweet sentiments about each other throughout their relationship. A source confirmed their breakup in June of the following year.
There's so much going on, so many blessings, so many great things. This is at a point in my career where there's not a lot of people telling me no, and everything's wide open.
Then there is Future. Lori and rapper Future fueled the rumor mill when the mask-off rapper shared a photo of the model on his Instagram stories in December 2019. Flawless! Tap for details, he wrote over the pic, which showed her posing in black leather pants, a crop top, and a diamond chain. The pair had been romantically linked for a while, with Lori previously attending his all-white birthday party a month prior. Though neither party ever confirmed whether or not they were an item, their relationship wasn't without buzzy Instagram moments. In January 2020, the two once again sent fans into a frenzy when the model posted a video on her Instagram story of Future giving her a kiss on the cheek while they vacationed in Jamaica. "Life is good," she wrote on the video, along with a diamond emoji. The rapper reciprocated, posting a photo of the two cuddling in the pool with the same caption. The stars reportedly broke up around August 2020. Another big name on Lori's long dating list is singer Trey Songz. According to OK Magazine, they were reportedly together from December 2018 to February 2019. Though not much is known about the romance, the two were spotted getting cozy during Songz' New Year's performance at the Regency Ballroom in San Francisco, seemingly confirming they were, in fact, together. It seems their rumored romance ended amicably, after Songz surprisingly revealed he was a first-time dad to son Noah in May 2019. The model left a sweet comment under the slow-motion singer's post, writing, "Aw, that little foot. Happy for you, T," accompanied by a heart emoji. Then it gets nasty, Justin Combs. Yes, father and son. Before she started dating Diddy, there were rumors that Lori and Diddy's son, Justin Combs, were an item. The internet started buzzing about this romance after the two were spotted at an event hosted by Diddy, Jeezy, and Future. Outside of entertainment, the model also dated Dutch soccer star Memphis Depay. Lori was almost a bride. At 20, she was engaged to Depay, who proposed to her in 2017. "Marjorie and I are proud to announce the engagement of our youngest daughter, Lori, to Memphis Depay," Steve Harvey wrote on Twitter at the time. "This young man is a good one. Congrats." The couple later split, and Lori was spotted in 2018 without her engagement ring. Years later, she reflected on the relationship and what it taught her about herself. "I almost got married very young, so I think after that it made me be like, I felt like I hadn't really experienced anything," she told Essence. "I didn't really know myself. I didn't really know what I liked, what I didn't like. I feel like I hadn't really experienced life. So I think at that point then I was like, okay, I'm about to date on my terms. However I want to move, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. And if it's no longer serving me, I'm going to move on." But critics say Lori took a jump from one to another habit from her celebrity father. Despite his less than impressive character, Harvey is one of the most successful entertainers of all time. However, for all of his professional achievements, his personal life has arguably been a little bumpier. The good news? After weathering the ups and downs of marriage and divorce, the 67-year-old host of radio shows, game shows, talk shows, and beauty pageants has finally found his Mrs. Right, but not before breaking so many hearts. Harvey is now married, and his current union proves that third time's the charm. Harvey, whose real name is actually Broderick Stephen Harvey, and Marjorie Bridges have been husband and wife since 2007. It's the third marriage for each of them, and for Harvey, his most successful at 15 years and counting. In 2018, during a commercial break on her husband's talk show, Marjorie and Harvey revealed to the studio audience that their romance originated at one of his comedy shows in Memphis. "I was late and I thought he was going to give me the business because he got real quiet. He was just staring at me. I thought I was going to become part of the show," she said. "He finally realized he's got to say something. He was like, 'Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to marry her.'"
Okay, baby. Where did I meet you?
Oh,
First time we met.
Memphis,
Where?
at a comedy club.
Harvey also adorably admitted that the first time he laid eyes on Marjorie, he quit breathing. Then, in 2014, the comedian revealed on his show how he popped the question. The star flew his future bride to Cabo, Mexico for a vacation, then surprised her on the first night of their getaway by hiding a diamond ring in her dessert.
And I got to thinking about my proposal to my wife, Marjorie. This is how I did it. I flew her to Cabo, Mexico.
The 59-year-old wife to Harvey is the founder of the fashion and lifestyle brand The Lady Loves Couture, as well as a co-founder, along with her husband, of the Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation, which provides youth outreach services that help cultivate the next generation of responsible leaders by providing educational enrichment, mentoring, life transformation skills, and global service initiatives. Marjorie has also been called the Queen of Slaycations thanks to her passion for travel. She and Steve have climbed Australia's Sydney Harbour Bridge, made friends with parrots in the Dominican Republic, cruised the Mediterranean by yacht, vacationed extensively through Italy, one of their all-time favorite destinations, and in 2019, embarked on an emotional pilgrimage home to Ghana.
Okay, what about the graduation party?
Yes, they had all their friends got a chance to come. It always starts with we're gonna have a few friends.
In 2022, Harvey penned a heartfelt 15th anniversary letter to Marjorie in the July-August 2022 issue of Good Housekeeping. "I owe you a debt of gratitude because you simply changed my life," he wrote. "If people get tired of hearing me say that, that's okay. It doesn't change the facts. You are the single biggest reason outside of God's grace that I am where I am today. You're the one," he concluded. But who was Harvey's first wife? Marcia Harvey married Steve in 1981 when he was working as an insurance salesman in Ohio and still trying to break into comedy. He ultimately spent long stretches of time on the road, which contributed to their split in 1994. Since then, Marcia has maintained a relatively low profile, but it seems she's also gone on to become a published author. The comedian reportedly started seeing their second wife, Mary Shackelford, before his divorce from his first wife, Marcia, was finalized. The two married in 1996 and ended things in 2005, with their split proving messy for years to follow. In 2011, for example, Shackelford was admonished by a judge for seemingly making false statements about being left destitute by Harvey. She also made several public statements against her ex, claiming, among other things, that he cheated on her with future third wife Marjorie.
When I think about how quickly he moved forward from me to Marjorie, that was...
Today, the TV personality is a proud papa to 7 children, including the 3 Marjorie had when they got together, all of whom Steve ultimately adopted. He shares twin daughters, Brandy Harvey and Carly Harvey, as well as son Broderick Harvey Jr., with his first wife, Marcia. He had a second son, Winton Harvey, with his second wife, Shackelford. So you now have a clear picture of why Lori has been moving from one to another. An apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And that's it from us today. Until next time, thank you for watching.